Hello, my family. It's your girl Pam. I shouldn't have to keep introducing myself, but y'all know who I am. It's me, your girl Pam. Welcome to my channel. This is Wake, Live, and Repeat, where we wake up, we live throughout the day, and we repeat it if the Lord allows us to see another day, right? So we ain't tripping. All right, y'all. Now that the introduction's out the way, I came because I really wanted to have a real conversation with y'all. I know my videos are not very long, but it was something that was on my heart that I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to just share this with y'all today, right? And the topic is addiction. I will say this, okay? Now, if you've loved anybody that's ever battled an addiction, you know that ain't easy. It's like one of the hardest things that you ever go through with trying to love somebody, be consistent with them, trying to support them. It doesn't work, right? It feels like you're trying everything. You're trying to love them harder. You're trying to make sure that you're forgiving them more. You're praying for them, all that good stuff. But in actuality, I'm going to say this, it's like a downward spiral or a rabbit hole if the person themselves are not ready to change. Now, I want to tell a little story time, and I don't want to keep y'all long because I try to keep it real light and happy go lucky. But every so often, I will get a chance to have my real moments. All right, just finished cleaning up and doing a few things in my room, and I said, let me just sit down because it's been on my spirit. And I'm gonna say my story time consists of me just telling just a short snippet of my experience with loving a person who had an addiction and you're trying to stay with them through the thick and the thin, right? This person just so happened to be my ex-husband. So it hits different when you've taken these vows before God and you say it is for better or for worse through the sickness and health, the good and the bad. And I think coming from a parent, I came from a two-parent home where my mom and dad was married. They were together for so many years, up until, when they got divorced, or they were married over 20 something years. So for me, I saw longevity, I saw marriage growing up, and I wanted that always. Okay. Now, when I first met my husband, he was different. His parents were not married. Not saying there was anything wrong with that, but they weren't married. He just had a different background than me. Like my mom and dad, we were church going, always had to, be accounted for. My mom and dad didn't even play that, especially my mama. She didn't allow you to just go and hang out with your friends. You couldn't spend the night. So strict. As opposed to my ex-husband, he had the freedom, right? And with the freedom, he got a chance to go through the typical teenage drama, make stupid decisions, bad decisions, all that, right? We don't hold nothing against the person, but I'm saying just he came from a different background than me. He experienced life as a teenager where I didn't. I kind of was still sitting on the porch. Okay. So fast forward to we met each other and everything was so good, just great. In the beginning, when I met my husband, he didn't tell me, my ex, he didn't tell me that he had a history that he had already tried um cocaine powder, or he never said that he had tried it. And because he had tried it and beat it, he didn't feel the need to mention it to me that that was something that he struggled with. He didn't have any issues with it. Like we met each other, he wasn't on drugs or anything. But it was over the course of the years of our marriage, I noticed that he started dibbling and dabbling back into something. I just didn't know what it was. But anyway, he ended up being addicted to drugs, and it was kind of crazy. You know how you see somebody who's hurting and you want to save them, you want to help them, but you don't know how to help them because you just don't know. I haven't experienced anything with that. That's just not in my background. I don't specialize in it, but I did my best. Um, but he started, dealing with drugs. I think the last 3 years of our marriage, and that's when things kind of turned for the worst for us. Um, the staying out all night, MIA over the whole weekend sometimes, money being missing, or I'm waiting for you to show up because you're coming home. We got bills to pay. Just those disappearing and reappearing acts that I went through. Um, and I think during the course of me loving him, I was losing sight of myself. Yeah, when I tell you, when you are with somebody who has an addiction and it's got a strong hold on them, you will realize that you fighting that fight harder than they fighting it. I think what came became real to me um was when I realized I was at work one day. I always worked in healthcare, worked in the hospital, and I just was like, it was just like a day to day. I knew to go to work, go pick the kids up, go home, cook, just never know what the day was gonna bring. I always encouraged him. We went through this phase where we going through this cycle, him disappearing and he stay out, he's off drugs for a minute, go back to being on drugs, and just this cycle. We going to church, showing up as this power couple that nobody knew that he was fighting, battling those demons behind the scene. But then eventually he started asking for help. Okay, I went through the treatment programs. Oh God, I don't know how many rehabs I went through with him, trying to support him and show him that I got him. But I said all that to say this is I realized that I started losing myself. Like I became his safety net, just covering for him with the kids. I was cleaning up the chaos, excusing the pain, just really just disregarding my feelings. And the whole time I thought I was helping him, but I really wasn't helping him. I was hurting him. I was hurting, and I damn sure was hurting myself. So I think one night I was sitting in my living room, was watching TV or whatever, and the kids was in there. It was late Friday night, and I think I had made it up in my mind, like, you know what, this is it. That was my favorite word when I kind of came to the realization of something. This is it. And what I did was the kids we watching. I don't know what cartoon it was because back then when they were younger, that's my whole world revolved around watching cartoon. Whatever they wanted, it was Friday night SmackDown. My boys, it was that type of ordeal. So we watching TV. I'm entertaining the kids because I've always been blessed enough to know to separate the two. My mama taught me that. Okay, be present in the moment. The kids having fun, y'all having a sleepover in the front room or whatever. We're camping out. Be in that moment. Be present with those babies, and then you deal with whatever. So I remember sitting there and I was like, you know what? It's getting late. Listen, I already knew that was a lost cause. I wasn't looking forward to seeing him, and I kind of had made peace with it. But in the midst of that, I started saying, this is it. I'm good. And I started making my mind up. And I started replaying all the times that I've been supportive, all the times I've been to freaking rehabs with you, supported you, going to church, prayed, yeah. And I said, no more. I thank God that my children didn't get to see the badness, because me, I'm such a good character when it comes to hiding things or pretending like, oh no, your daddy got to work late or whatever the case may be. And I always cover for him. But I ended up making the decision to let that go. And that was the best decision that I've ever made in my life. It was hard. And I know we had been married, oh my God, almost 10 years, I think, at this time. And I felt like, you know what? If it was meant to be, it would have been. This is not life. I'm sharing this with y'all because I was talking to a lady that lives out by me. Never seen her before, but she was kind of sharing something with me about how she's got a new start and she's just enjoying life and she's just looking forward to the future. And I started telling myself, Pam, you had that same outlook. I know I don't want to discuss what she told me, but her story was the same experience. She went through this with her ex with drugs, just like I did with mine. And I didn't want to just come out and I just told her, I said, listen, I know how that goes, and the story ends very well for you. The best thing you did was get away. And so I said all that to say this. You have to love yourself more. You got to choose to get your peace. You got to get your happy back. You got to choose your babies. I'm so grateful that God pulled me out, Spirit pulled me out, whomever pulled me out and helped me and gave me the strength to say, enough is enough. And when I made my mind up and said I was done, everything that I was afraid of being a single mom. I was afraid of taking care of my kids by myself. Oh, I got boys. How to raise these boys, whatever the case may be. When I tell y'all, I think I did a pretty good job. I love my children, and I thank God for them, for me being able to shelter them, um, from craziness. But if you guys are dealing with that addiction, it may not be drugs. It could be somebody that you're dealing with that's alcohol, master manipulator, whatever. Listen, choose yourself. Choose to make you happy. I tell people, like I told a lady, I'm in my selfish season. I don't owe anybody anything because I've spent too many years trying to make sure that you good, everybody good, and Pam was never good. So this is my selfish season. I gonna be selfish until the day I leave this world, because you know why? I got too many scars and war wounds on my heart where I've been just mishandled for the wrong people. So if this video resonated with you guys, I just want to come on quickly because there's so much I could tell, but I want to keep it short and cute because I don't want to talk too long. But I hope that no one is dealing with this. But if you are, let me know in the comments, and just if you've had this experience, let me know how you've overcome it, or if you're going through it currently, just know that this too shall pass. It don't always look the way that you looking at it through your natural eye. You got to look at it spiritually and say, this too shall pass. All is well. And you just got to make a plan. And when you start executing that, things going to fall in place so quick, 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 quick. Okay? Love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so, please like, comment, share, subscribe to my video. Okay? Y'all be blessed.